Goose because she's barking a dog's barking outside, so it's like
That's my
crisis mode.
niece. Hi, Goosey. Goose, where are you? Goose. Oh, Smokey's coming too. He hurried. He's getting jealous.
Oh, because the dog's popped off because I've got a cafe down near where I live.
You do.
And
You
so
really
people,
do.
yeah, people come with their dogs and one just barked and it's unacceptable to Goose.
I understand, Goose. How
Are you
dare
calm
they?
now? Okay, go on the couch.
How dare they, Goose?
It's
Such a
unacceptable.
guardian. Such a guardian. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to Of the Publishing Persuasion. I am Angela Montoya, author of Sinner's Isle and A Cruel Thirst, which is not coming out for a while, so we don't have to worry about that at the moment. I am here with the plum queen herself, Melanie Schubert, author of Severed Cape. Which again, I have read, I highly recommend, but only if you're wearing your diapers.
Mm,
Only if you're wearing diapers, because you're gonna
good
shit yourself.
advice.
You're gonna shit yourself when you read this.
You know what? It's funny because I've been working on my proofs,
Ooh,
which felt very fancy.
yes.
So I did one on the weekend, one read through, and I wanted to just let it sit and just, your eyes catch other stuff another time.
Yeah.
And it was weird because like I didn't expect, when you read it so many times, you become a bit desensitized to it. But like I actually, when I got to the end of, I was reading it aloud to Phil, and when I got to the end, I just started like bawling, and I was like,
Oh,
I didn't expect it. It was just like,
yes.
I think it's taken so long to come around, although it has been pretty quick, all things considered, with the anthology. But
Yeah.
like, just it was just like this little release, like, yeah, this is cool, and I did this, and just like
Oh,
giving
yes.
myself permission to feel the moment and be so proud of it, because like actually it, like I had chills reading it, and I felt a lot of things, and I was like, yeah, but you wrote it, like you did that thing that's creating those feelings, and it was such a cool moment to just be like, I'm gonna try and hold on to that and just like stay positive, keep writing, keep submitting, and just, yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good
Oh,
moment.
yes. Yes, yes. You should. You should absolutely celebrate every moment, especially like reading through your proof, like your proofs
Yeah.
um for the anthology that's coming out. Like that is so fun. It's so freaking exciting. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna pretty soon. It May 7th?
May 7th,
May 7th it's coming.
Castle of
So,
Horror, Anthology Volume 11.
do you know when we can pre-order? Can we pre-order? Let me
When,
look
as
at
soon as I know, I'll be
Okay.
tuning it all over they said soon. Soon we're going to get a cover, and soon it's going to be available for pre-order.
Hell yeah. Everybody better pre-order.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna pre-order several copies.
Aw.
Several. I'm so freaking excited. Yes.
Yeah, I am
Yay.
excited too. And I don't know why I wasn't like letting myself be. I don't know why I was downplaying it. I don't know why
Yeah.
I was telling myself, like, it's kind of cool. Like, in a way, I've skipped the agent step and done something really. Do you know what I mean? I think I was
Yeah.
telling myself stuff like silly, silly things like, oh, but you still can't get an agent, you know?
Nope.
And
We're
then
not
you
here
have
for
that
this.
thought and you're, yeah, we're not here for this. But the old brain,
Hmm.
she's a bit of a bitch sometimes. And it's so funny how our brains tend, I say our because I know yours does the same. It tend to
Yeah.
like focus on like the problems still, or the failures, or the things that haven't been what we thought, rather
Yeah.
than like focus on all the good stuff and all the cool stuff that is happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is an exciting year, and it is a bit like new opportunities, old opportunities that are revisiting. So I
Yes. I
feel
love
good.
it. No, honestly, like fuck our brains. They're so
Yeah,
rude. They're
they
so
are
rude.
rude.
Like really, why? Like an anthology is so exciting. It's so
Yeah,
freaking fun. It's coming out. Why would our brains automatic? Because my brain does it every time. I hear a
yeah,
good thing, and then it's like, oh, but you didn't get this. I'm like,
yeah,
bitch, shut the fuck up.
yeah.
I don't know why our brains are such little petty bitches, but
Right.
truly, like No, like an anthology is so fun. Like
So fun.
we're not going to let our brains tell us
We're not.
otherwise.
And hang on, I don't know, can I say this? I can cut it out if you don't want me to, but aren't you also going to be in an anthology very soon?
Yeah, yes,
Uh,
I am.
can we talk about that? I wasn't
I
sure.
had
I was
no
like,
idea.
let's talk about it. I feel like, or
Yeah.
is it still secret?
No, I have
Huh.
no idea. Nothing's been technically announced. But yes, I will be in an anthology, so we don't have to say what it is. But I will. So anthologies are really freaking fun.
They're so fun because you get to condense the whole story into like
Yeah.
a really concentrated burst. And I'm finding it fun to read because I've been reading Relit. Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously we did the little anthology launch for that one.
Yeah, we
You
did.
know,
Yes, we did.
where is it? Oh, it's over there. Damn it, I can't reach. But I'm finding it really satisfying to read those stories and they're like short and you can do it in one sitting and then go do something else. It's actually really
Yeah.
it's quite yummy to just like have a little story and go on your way, you know?
Hell
And
yes.
I've read your anthology piece too, and let me just say, I don't know, am I gonna go out on a limb and say it's my favorite thing you've written? I think I
Whoa.
might. It moved me. I had chills.
Wow.
I had tears pricking my eyes. It was really like quite a masterful piece of work, and
Wow.
I think your fan base is going to grow exponentially from that story.
Well, fingers crossed. Am I
Yeah.
right? Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I honestly, I think it's kind of fun
Mm.
to do these anthologies because you are stretching yourselves in genres maybe that we wouldn't, well, for
Yeah.
sure, that we wouldn't normally be in. And
Mm.
it like honestly, it made me like, oh, this is actually really fun. This sort of like
Yeah.
horror, romance,
It is
whatever it
fun.
was I was doing. And for you, like going dark was pretty good. I mean, I'm not to say you need to always be there, but it's really fun to explore those things and see
Mm.
that we can go there. And
I
so yeah.
agree. I agree. I think I wouldn't naturally have, although I did do, can you hear that? The lawnmower outside? Or it's blocking it out.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
good.
Yeah.
There's a leaf blower outside. I was like, of
How
course there
dare
fucking
they?
is. If it
They
gets
should
too
know
loud,
better.
tell me. I'll put earphones in.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Um, I can't remember what I'm saying. Something anthologies. Oh no, just stretching ourselves in different ways. Like you're right. Like I don't know if I would have necessarily gone that dark without like without a theme or a reason to. But then I was going to say, but I also was dabbling a bit because I wrote
Mm,
Princess, which is middle grade horror, which I think I don't know if I said this already, but I think I'm gonna go and revise that now and get it in the trenches because I don't know why I didn't
yeah.
last year. I just
Well,
for some
okay, let
reason
me
I
ask you this.
drafted.
Did you
Yeah.
ever even finish that?
Yeah, I finished the first
See,
draft.
I don't even think I knew that.
I did. I finished a draft and I was
Uh-huh.
happy with it. And then for some
Ah,
reason I was just like, I don't know if I wasn't in the mood to edit or possibly my other YA just
I
caught
think
me
that's
up
what it
again.
was. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, now I'll get a draft of this done. But as we know, that didn't eventuate. So I have two YA drafts now that are about three-quarters done. And I'm absolutely obsessed with the first half of them both. But like, I need to sit with what I want to do for the ending more. So I think
Yeah.
while I do that, I think before, again, when I was in a negative frame of mind, I was like, you can't finish a project, you just keep jumping. But when I realized, listen, bitch, actually stopping when it wasn't feeling good. And I just had that moment of realization. I was like, huh, but you finished a book last year and you haven't put it in the trenches. Why? And I was like,
Mm.
yeah, shit, I haven't. Let's get that one in. And again, a smaller piece of work, middle grade being like half the length of YA, it's actually quite satisfying to work on because you can chomp it up really quickly and do revisions. So yeah, I'm going to do
Yeah.
that now. It feels really easy and like I feel inspired to do that and just get her in the trenches.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm excited. Yeah, send it my way. I'll get to
Oh yeah, I haven't sent you
it.
that. Oh, it's rough now. You
No.
wouldn't want to read it now.
Well,
But
when you're ready.
when
Yeah,
I
because
do
I
this
feel like I
draft,
didn't even know you finished it.
yeah.
You've been
Weren't we
keeping
draft
secrets.
racing? We were
Oh,
draft racing, I think, but
were we
we were
draft
draft
racing?
racing, and then you, being the cheater that you are, just were like overnight finished.
Yeah.
That's why
No,
you
that,
don't remember.
yeah. Yeah. I was too good. I was too
You were
fast and too
too
good. I just,
fast.
yeah.
Speaking
Yeah,
of how
no.
good you are, oh
Oh,
my
okay. I like
Lord,
this. I like
those
this.
those graphics that you made for my birthday, I
Yeah.
I peed myself a little. Like it was absolutely ridiculous. Listeners, if you haven't seen them, trot on over to our go to @pubpersuasion on Instagram. That's where we live. And please treat yourselves. Scroll through. When you see my face on the birthday post, do not be discouraged. Scroll through for things
Yeah.
that your eyes never thought they would see, like
Yeah. Who would have
Angela's
known?
face,
Yeah.
like Angela's face on a kangaroo's scrotum.
Yeah.
We never thought we would see such things.
Yeah. Well, hey, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. No, I had so much fun making those. I was
Yeah.
cackling. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm so creative.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie. Like you're joking, but I feel like it was your finest work. Like,
I feel good about it. I feel
and the thing about stuff like that is if you actually had of like, I don't know, professionally blended our faces on, it wouldn't be that funny. It's like the little fucking clip art of my face on a kangaroo and your little body where its bits are. Like
yeah.
you can't pay for that kind of comedy.
You can't. You can't. Yeah. No, I had so much fun. I was like, I kept checking the calendar because I was like,
Yeah.
when is their freaking birthday coming? Because I was so excited to post it. And
Oh,
I had
I love
finished
that.
it like probably a week or two before your birthday because I was just sitting there like, okay, what can I do? I was like,
That
how can
makes
I? Because you always do the funniest things. I was like, okay, how can I step up to Melanie's level? And I was like, well,
Oh no,
I'm
you
just gonna stick
surpassed.
her face on things.
I live for it. You're the official comedian of the show because yes, that was glorious and Jessica Para was like, we need to put it in our merch store on t-shirt.
Yes, yes.
I don't know, can you would I get like done for
Oh,
the
that's
images
true.
being like the bodies of like Kath and Kim and obviously that
Yeah, maybe.
kangaroo would want his cut.
He definitely want his cut. Yeah, he would definitely be like, "Come on, ladies,
Yeah.
R&R."
Should
He'd
be
be like that.
fine. We're not like exactly the viral apparel company, so I think it should be
Yeah.
fine.
It would just be sold to Para. Like she would be the only one to buy
But you know
it.
what? I'll put it in the store just for her.
Okay.
I think I still left her momager stickers up in the store
I
still.
love that. I just saw her sticker the other day on my because I have it on like a notebook and I ran by. I was like, oh my freaking God, yes. Actually, speaking of Jessica Para, I started reading the Kinsey Project, which is her next project coming out. Is it in
Mhm.
June? And it's so good. It gives me all the feels. So it's like
Yeah.
fun. It's like the wedding planner with
Yeah,
quinceañeras in
yeah. I've started
Disneyland.
as well. She gave me a little tidbit last year, and then I had to wait now this whole time to get
How
the
dare
rest of
she?
the story. How very well dare she? Um, but yeah, it's glorious, and I just feel like oh my gosh, my heart's on a little emotional roller coaster. Like she's hitting a
Yeah.
lot of like humor, a lot of really big, deep feels, and honestly, I think it's a masterpiece. Like obviously,
Yeah.
because Jessica Parra wrote it, it's going to be a
Yeah.
masterpiece. But
Yeah.
I even like I've always probably seen her as just this like goddess in our industry, and I loved obviously her first book, but like I can feel she's leveled up even in this one. Like it's and all
Yeah.
the Disney references, I feel like it's gonna land in such a when its community finds it, this is gonna be their favorite book, you know?
Hell yes. That's exactly it right there.
Mm.
Yeah. I love it. No, I feel the same way. Like you can tell she's grown as a writer, which I think
Yeah.
is what all of our goals are. Every new book, new project, whatever it is to get better. So
Yeah. And if our listeners haven't read her other book, just here's one I prepared earlier. Just shout out to our Mama Japara, Ruby
yes.
Raymond's Recipe for Success.
Hell yes. Dude, we read that right after Pitch Wars in
Yeah,
2021, and it was like a perfect book already.
I
So
agree.
the woman can write. The woman can write.
She can write.
She's got
And
the writing chops.
we may have to share our cosplay again when her next
Oh,
book comes out.
yes. Yeah.
My
Oh,
Ryan
yeah.
wig will have to make a reappearance.
I'm still so bitter about that. Like, listen, I dressed up for the episode. I came on there. Melanie was in her civilian clothing. She
I
was,
was.
and I came on there and was just like, oh, here we are. But hey, it's okay. It worked out. Now we know we need to communicate a little bit better,
Can you hear
you
the
know?
leaf blower now? It's outside my door. I'm gonna tell him to fuck off. You can't if you can't
No,
hear it, it's fine.
I
Really?
can't. No, I can't hear
Even
it.
Goose is running now because she can hear it. Okay, as long as you can't
No,
hear it, I don't want it to piss our listeners off.
no,
Yeah,
I
Goose is
honestly.
not about it.
Oh, I heard a
Oh,
little ooh. I heard a
yeah, he's
little.
right outside. He comes up on my balcony, which I did not request that service. And honestly, I'm not
Oh.
sure it actually does anything. The other day I moved this just like just having a bitch right now about day-to-day life. But he comes on my fucking balcony and blows shit. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want that. It's
Wait,
not
on your actual balcony?
on my actual balcony. He comes
It,
up because it's open. You can access there.
oh, that feels
And
like an invasion of privacy.
it really does. And I'm just not
Yeah.
convinced it does anything clean, like to
Yeah.
clean it. He just comes and blows air. Leaf blowers in general, I'm very suspicious about. But anyway.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this. I
Oh, I
didn't know.
just think they're useless. I think they're
I,
useless. Like, get a fucking rake and sweep up the leaves like back in our days.
Melanie, can I just tell you something?
What?
I love a leaf blower.
I
I
bet you do.
love.
You look like a leaf blower person. Hashtag America.
We love leaf blowers over here in America. In fact, guess what? Guess how many I have,
Fuck
Melanie?
off. You've got like five or something.
I've got three. I've got
Three.
I've got three. Two
What?
electric ones, and one is like a gasoline, like mega leaf blower.
Okay.
Okay. We love a good leaf blower
I'm
here.
not okay right now. I need to understand what possible reason one person could have for three leaf blowers. What do you
Well,
do with them? Just like Edward's scissor blower?
I hate leaves. I hate leaves. I hate
Do
them.
you?
No, no, Melanie.
Okay.
Okay, listen. We bought one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I have four. I apologize. I have four.
Four. You do not have four. Do you
We
really?
have four. Yeah, we do.
Okay, I need to understand why.
Okay, okay. I know this is really, really interesting conversation, but okay, when
No,
we
they can
first,
suffer.
well,
I need to
listen,
know.
listen, I live in the country. Okay, Melanie? We've got a lot of leaves over here. All right?
Yeah.
Got a lot of concrete, a lot of leaves around the house.
Yeah.
So we bought one, and it was a gas one, and it was kind of a little hard for me to start.
Mm.
And so we bought another for me, a little electric one. But like I said, we've got a lot of leaves, we've got bark. So the little electric one wasn't good enough for me. So we had to get another electric one. It's a little more powerful.
Mm.
And so that's the one I use. But my part Armando, he didn't that wasn't powerful enough for him.
I see.
So he needed to get the
The super.
backpack one.
No, he does not have that.
Yes,
That's the
he
one that's
does.
outside.
That's what we got. So
I
this
have
is probably the
questions.
most American conversation. You know?
I am fascinated. I am fascinated. Now, I just need to understand. You do realize when you blow the leaves with the leaf
Yes.
blower, they just move somewhere else. They don't actually
Yeah.
go away. They just blow
Listen.
back. Nay ye, a gentle breeze rolleth through the hills, and the
Yes.
leaves come back where they were. So tell me, is it
Yes.
possible that your need for four leaf blowers is because none of them are fucking working and you maybe just need a rake and a big rubbish bag to get rid of the leaves?
Hey, we use a rake as well. Okay.
Okay.
When it's in the fall, we'll do that as well. Okay.
Okay.
But the leaf blowers, yes, the leaves come back. That's why we need the leaf blowers. So we could just go back and blow them
But
again.
that's what drives me nuts when he comes. I'm like, you were here a couple days ago. and you just blew the leaves around. Now they've flown back where they were. What is not adding up here?
Okay. Oh, here's my technique, okay?
Okay.
I blow the leaves into the grass and then I mow the
Know
grass
them.
and
That's
it turns it
smart.
to mulch.
Okay, I accept that answer.
Thank you.
I
Thank
accept
you.
that answer. But can't you just mow around the tree to
Melanie,
begin
just
with?
listen to me, Melanie. You just let it be. You let it be. You forgive the guy for invading your privacy and you let him blow the leaves,
Uh,
okay?
Fine. Fine. I'll let it be. I'll let it be. Now I'm
Let
definitely
it be.
picturing you with all four leaves on your backpack. Can you please, 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 please put them all on? Put the backpack and all three, and then just
And
do
just
a
walk
reel
around.
of you blowing. Obviously, put Sinazile
Sure.
on your chest when you do it
Well,
'cause
yeah.
it'll go viral.
Actually,
Anyway,
I probably will have to now. I mean, that's great marketing.
it is great marketing. Come
Yeah.
on. You should blow
Yeah.
them, and each one will blow out a copy of Sinazile.
Do you think my photoshopping skills can handle such a thing?
After what I've seen, yes. Yes. And I think it will be
Woohoo!
even better because it'll be so bogan.
It'll be so bad.
They'll just be
Okay.
cropped with like different backgrounds. But back to other things. How have you been as a general? What's
Yeah.
on the writing agenda at the moment?
Okay, so I'm going through my proofs, my past pages, the
Mm,
first pass for A Cruel Thirst. And they've been going like I'm doing going fast with them, except for today.
mm.
Um, I had done a whole, like a half a day's work. So I basically finished them. And then
Yes.
my internet or something glitched and all my work
No,
vanished.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So luckily
Ah,
everything was saved from everything I'd done yesterday on,
mm.
but everything I did today was gone. And
That's
so,
heartbreaking.
yeah. So what I did was I went outside and I touched grass and I took a walk. And like I felt sick to my stomach because I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I just done
I
like a
feel sick
lot.
for you.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I just did a lot of like
Yeah.
heavy lifting right there. But then I came back and I redid it. So I finished.
Mm,
And so yeah, so we're there. I'm still bitter about it, but I'm happy that
mm,
I that
mm.
I was able to go back and do it.
Poor
But
thing. That would take me a while to recover. I'd be pretty mad. You did good.
yeah,
You
it
did good
was,
coming
I'm not
back
gonna
from that.
lie. My stomach hurt, like physically. I was like,
Yeah. Did you
what the
scream out
hell?
into the nature?
Into the nature with my leaf blowers. I just
I'm literally gonna pee myself. That's fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. But you know what? There was a lot of good energy in our interview today, so
Hell yes. Hell
hopefully
yes, I
it
knew.
soothed your soul a little bit. And yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Oh,
really
speaking of
fascinating.
souls,
Yeah.
how is your soul feeling?
Yeah, it's feeling good. Like, yeah,
Good.
like our guest today was amazing. And how
Mhm.
do you pronounce her surname? Sorry, I just forgot what it was.
I want to say
Valerie
she said Tejeda, right? Tejeda?
Tejeda. Valerie
Tejeda?
Tejeda.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very interesting for me because, like, as you know, like I grew up like very conservative, religious, and yeah, like for me, so like if you don't know about Valerie, like yeah, she's an astrologer and she's what else would you say? I didn't even know how to verbalize it. You, you
Uh,
also have to check. I don't feel so stupid now. She's an,
yeah, no. She's an astrologer.
yeah,
And like yeah,
yeah. So like
she's an astrologer.
yeah, yeah. So her
Yeah.
self-care stuff is like by like horoscopes and that kind of stuff, right? By
Yeah.
like, the alignment of the stars and all that stuff. And yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, it did trigger my religious trauma because like I really did grow up like being transparent, kind of like seeing all of that stuff as very other. It was pitched as very other, very frightening, in alignment with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So, as an adult, I don't believe that. But as a child who was brought up hearing that over and over again, that like, oh my gosh, even like, I don't know if I ever told you this. I didn't read Harry Potter until I was in my 20s
Uh-huh.
because when I was in, because my school was also conservative Christian based. And literally in school when that was like viral, the equivalent of viral back in my day,
Right, right.
in like in our communities, in our church communities, it was very much a big drive came about to pitch it as evil. And like
Mm.
even in school, they sat us down and we watched this video about like the occult and paganism and Satanism and how Harry Potter was tied into all of it. And it was very
Okay.
much geared up to like, yeah, and like again, all of that has its own history, why people have that fear, why it like trickles down in those ways. And yeah, like as an adult who's like kind of deconstructed from a lot of that, you still can't stop the knee-jerk child reaction sometimes when you've been brought up to think everything is like everything outside of that is evil. So yeah, it
Hmm.
was a little like it definitely triggered that part of me initially thinking about having a guest on who wanted to read my horoscope, my stars and whatever. But I also think it's fun and beautiful. And like again, I think all of this stuff, what I'm trying to learn myself is person by person, case by case. There's good and bad people in every faith, in every culture, in every
Yeah.
practice, in every career. And that's what I'm trying to learn to differentiate because I find that people tend to find it safer to label entire groups as frightening and other. And that's just not
Mm.
real. That's an easy, safe, not safe. That's an easy way out for the brain because then
Yeah.
you don't have to like process and understand. And like, yeah, I wanted to process that part of myself that was still feeling afraid of this.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it's hard. It's embarrassing to admit as a 37-year-old woman that that would still frighten me. But when you haven't like picked apart why and like
Yeah.
what makes you afraid of it? Do you think it's evil? No. Like it's the knee-jerk reaction of what I grew up
Yeah.
with. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's so good, honestly. Like, I love listening to you talk about this because it's true. It's that knee-jerk reaction of,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's just with anything you don't know,
Mm.
about or don't understand or it's new, your knee-jerk instinct is to put up the barrier and say, no,
Yeah.
that's wrong. No, I don't feel comfortable about it. And it could be about anything too, not
Mm.
even just religion
100%.
or astrology, like just anything that again, it's your brain.
Mm.
Your brain is, I don't know what's her problem, but she's just so like overprotective in so many ways that she's
Yeah.
instantly like, nope, this is scary and new, shutting down, sealing you in, putting you in your little box.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she does that, but definitely like when you are raised religious,
Mm.
the brain moves a little faster in the
Yeah.
no, in the this is not right. So yeah, I as someone who is also like deconstructing
Mm.
everything damn near that I've
Yeah.
learned and understood in life. And like, I love exploring new things now and be like, oh, okay. Like this
Yeah.
world is so huge. And,
Exactly.
and there was one thing I watched and it was so interesting.
Sorry,
Oh,
that's
was
Goose.
it it sounded like she was singing for a second.
That's
Um,
her Frenchy talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's so interesting. Like, there was one thing I watched, and it was fascinating, but it was like when okay, this might be controversial, I don't know, but it was just a video
Mm.
I watched. I didn't make the
Yeah.
video. But I found it fascinating because it was talking about like when Jesus was here, what
Mm.
other things were happening globally, like in the world.
Mm.
And it was showing like the things that were happening in China at this time, the things that were happening in Africa and
Yeah.
it was just like all these different places and all these different timelines. And it
Yeah.
just like makes your brain almost want to blow up of just thinking like, I feel like we're so like, focused on ourselves and on our center, but the world is
Yeah.
so huge and it's
That's
so
it right there.
interesting and vast. And like what Valerie was saying with astrology, it goes back thousands of years. And so there's just like, we just live in this huge world and it's so
Yeah.
interesting
It is
and
interesting. And I
and
think
scary, but
it is interesting and it is scary. And I think that's a lot of times why it's tempting for people to cling to one thing and like label everything else as other. And like again, even with like my past religion, I'm trying to make my peace with that too, that some people find peace in that. It's not
Yeah,
always all bad either. There's a lot of great
exactly.
Christians. There's a lot of Christians who are some of the nicest people I know. And that's the thing,
Yeah.
it's case by case, in my opinion. And yeah, I just didn't want to let, yeah, like this is a very candid, open conversation. Like I'm in therapy for some of this shit, yeah. Like
Yeah.
it is genuinely has been stuff that was very frightening to me. And yeah, I kind of did want to just allow myself to be in that space, to listen to another culture, another set of beliefs that aren't mine, but that
Mhm.
I'm like, I want to hear other people like that. What you said is so, I think about that a lot because I did grow up with this kind of one view. But what was going on? Or like, what about all the other cultures? What about all the other beliefs and stuff? And it doesn't have to be your belief. You don't have to listen to one person's thing and be like, well, that's the truth now. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
is whatever it is for you, you know? And yeah, I think ultimately kind of trying to create space for everyone to be themselves and not take it personally is kind of what I'm
Mm.
about. Like, it's not about you sometimes, you know? Sometimes everyone's journey is different. And if we all looked the same for all of us, if we all found meaning and like whatever, hope and dreams in the same things, what a boring place the world would be. You
Yeah.
know, so
I
I'm
love that.
really, it was really lovely to have her on. And I know you do tarot and like it's like part of your, you know, world.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if the people I love do these things and like I, those are parts of you too that like I want to love, you know, and it doesn't have to be my thing, but I want to, you know, you sharing that part of your world with me is cool too, you know.
That's it. I love it.
Mm.
Yeah. Look at how much we've grown, you know? We're just
We're just here growing and breaking generational traumas and like that's what got
we
me in the
are.
end. I was like annoyed at myself that it still scared me at this age.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what? Let's have her on. I want to hear. I want to hear. It was fun to hear my chart and like
And it was dead on too.
it
I
was
was like,
dead
yep.
on. And like, I just have to say, I mean, of course, our podcasting relationship sounds like it was written in the stars.
No, but for real, like she was like, "Yep, all your placings are this, this, and that." And I was
I
like,
know.
It feels right. It feels right." Yeah. Well, let's
Yeah.
introduce the guest that the guest that we've just been bragging about for the last
Yeah.
little bit because she really had so many amazing things to say
Mm.
and took us on a journey. Um,
Yes.
like really a truly self-care healing journey, which I think everybody always needs to be reminded is to take care of yourself first.
100%.
Yeah. Um,
You want to do it or do you want me to do it?
do you want to take turns?
I can't with you. How will the listeners cope if we take turns?
Okay,
They're
yeah,
not
you got a
gonna
point.
understand why. Although I kind of want to now. If I can leave the whole bit in before this, let's take turns.
Okay, let's take turns.
Just
Let's try a new bio reading
yeah,
situation. I love
yeah.
this for
It's just
us.
because it's a long bio, and obviously
Yeah.
Angela and I always fight over who's going to read the bio because we both get shy about it. But we're going to be
Yeah.
powerful. We're going to be a team,
Yes.
one paragraph each, like back in high school.
Let's do it. Yep, let's do it. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Okay. Valerie Tejeda is a best-selling author of nonfiction and fiction books, an astrologer with a degree in psychology and certificates in astrology and music therapy, and the creator of the digital brand Big Cosmic Energy.
She is the writer and narrator of Self Care by the Signs, a #1 Audible bestseller and a #1 Amazon bestseller, an AP bestseller, and an editor's pick for Best of the Month, as well as Self Care by the Moon, an Audible top 10 listen and editor's pick for 2021, favorite in self development.
In addition, she writes fiction novels with themes of self-discovery, the adult contemporary romance Good on Paper, a #1 Amazon bestseller and Barnes& Noble bestseller, published by Hachette headline Eternal in 2022, and the satirical young adult urban fantasy Hollywood Witch Hunter, published by Bloomsbury in 2015.
As a journalist, she wrote stories about well-being, astrology, and pop culture. Her bylines have appeared in publications such as Self Magazine, Vanity Fair, MTV, Teen Vogue, Marie Claire, Cosmopolitan, and more.
Valerie loves iced coffee and asking people, when's your birthday? When she first meets them, which actually absolutely tracks.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yes, I
She's a
did too.
really
I love
cool,
Valerie.
really big energy person. It's so cool that you guys were able to meet up in person.
Yeah. Yeah, we literally live in the same town.
Is that
So that's
true?
fun. Yeah. How
That's
funny
so
is that?
cool.
I
So
know.
cool. But no,
Yeah.
like it was so great to have her on. And I like, yeah, like as per usual, I appreciate you being like an open space where, yeah, like some vulnerable thoughts that are being shared. And like, again, I share them in the hopes that if it resonates with someone else, that, you know, they can find something in that too. But yeah, she's a really cool baddie. And like, you know, self-care, whatever way it looks for you, is self-care. And if it's giving you meaning and healing in your life, I'm for it, you know?
Damn, Melanie. Yeah. What? Yeah, that's it. I think we'll get Valerie on after you say that. What else am
Let's
I
get
supposed to
her
say to that?
on.
Woo!
Yes.
I'm excited.
What are you doing
Good
tonight?
job. I'm gonna go grocery shopping right now,
Ooh, American grocery
unfortunately.
shopping.
Yeah. Yes. Everything's bigger here. With
Including
all
the
my
leaf, including the leaf blowers.
we talked about that for a solid like 15, 20 minutes.
And you know what? I have no regrets. But I will cry if you don't put a photo up of you with all of them. I need that.
It's gonna have to, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to
It's
do it.
seriously the most American thing about you I've ever heard. How many lawnmowers do you have?
3.
But you do live on a farm. I'll let you have that.
Let it slide,
Let it
Melanie.
slide. I'm
Let
gonna
it
let it
slide.
slide. You're still cool. You're still
Uh,
cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh,
How are you guys?
Valerie, you did
Oh.
not come to play today.
That
You guys
outfit
are the
is
best.
giving
Thank you.
110%.
Kind of witchy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, here for it. We're here for it. Is it the spring equinox? Is that
Yeah,
what you
it
said?
is spring
Okay.
equinox. Yeah. So it's like a magical day. It's a good
Yeah.
one. How are you guys
Yeah.
doing today?
We're so good.
Good.
We are so good,
Yeah.
especially now seeing you coming just assaulting us with your gloriousness.
Yes.
I
Oh
love it.
my gosh.
I'm here
You
for it.
guys are so, thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
Oh,
our
yeah.
pleasure. Welcome to the show officially.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I really am.
Yeah, us too. Well, let's get right into it because there's a lot of fun things to
Okay.
talk about. But first, do you mind just telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. I know. I'm like, I should hold my book. I'm Valerie Tejeda. I am the author of Cosmic Care and gosh, I think like 5 other books at this point, which is wild. I'm also an astrologer. So I write books and then I also do astrology readings and write about astrology and all of those things. I first got my start in journalism. So I did that for years before writing books. And I wrote about well-being and astrology and pop culture and all that when I was a journalist. So it's interesting how it kind of rolled over into like writing romance and then writing astrology books about well-being and stuff. So I love it. I love doing both. I love being able to do the fiction and the nonfiction. It's definitely really,
Mm.
really fun.
Yeah, I
Cool.
looked you up and
Yeah.
you've got books on Goodreads. You've got books.
She does. She does.
Yeah,
She's out here working. And
I
I love,
know.
like, I think we first found each other on TikTok, but I love how
Yeah.
you blend pop culture and astrology together. It's so
Yeah.
interesting. It's fascinating. It's really, really cool,
Mm.
how you do it. So obviously your passions are like out there for the world and people are attaching to it because it's really cool what you do.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. I really love all of it so much. Like I love pop culture. I love astrology. I love well-being and telling people, you know, about self-care. And then I also really love romance books, fantasy books, all those things. And I feel like there's such a great purpose for fiction too, like romance and fantasy that people don't think about for like our well-being. Like I think when you think about self-care or wellness, it's like, oh, I need to read a nonfiction book and learn all this stuff. But really, fiction plays a huge role in supporting our well-being, giving us that escape, allowing our imagination to run wild and things like that. It's really good for you. I think people don't think about that often, but it's like fiction's really good for us to read.
Thank you for saying that. Like
Yeah.
I feel like everything you just said was very important and our listeners are gonna love it. And I 100% agree, you know, just feeding that soul part
Yeah.
that is and what it craves. And sometimes it craves
Mhm.
escape. Sometimes.
Yeah. It does. We need it. We need escape. We really do. I think we need a break, from our society. And life can be so challenging, so hard. And just getting that escape, it's like a mental vacation, It's
Mm.
really, really good for us, for sure. I don't think people talk about that enough with fiction, but it
Mm.
serves like a great purpose for our well-being. And it's so good for the brain too, to read,
Mm.
It's really
Yes.
important. Yeah.
Oh, I love this, honestly. It's almost like it gives you permission to
Yeah,
let yourself just watch a show or read a book,
Mm.
because
absolutely.
Melanie and I talk about this all the time of like, we
Mm.
always feel this need to be doing something,
Oh,
something,
yeah.
quote unquote, like
Productive.
purposeful,
Yeah,
productive, like,
productive. Yeah.
but like allowing your mind to think and to remember that reading fantasy or escaping into those worlds, watching a good show that is productive because you're giving your brain a break, which I love.
Absolutely. And rest is
Mm.
productive. We need
Mm.
rest. It's so important for us. And I think it's like the most productive thing you can do is making
Yes.
time for rest, self-care, and books can provide such a great medium for that because it
Mm.
allows us to escape and have fun. You know what I mean? Who doesn't
Yeah.
want to like jump into a fantasy world or read a really good romance? It's so great. I love it.
That's what I'm trying to lean into more, not even like getting to the point where I need to give myself permission. Like I've done some,
Mhm.
I've done X amount of work, therefore I deserve X amount of break. Like I really think that that's like societal brainwashing. Like if you can
Absolutely.
rest, you know, like
Yeah, you have a
yeah.
right to rest, regardless of how quote unquote productive you are or what you're doing. Like rest is our right,
Hmm.
and I don't think people think about that often, but because of how it is in our society, we're told we have to work, we have to do
Yeah.
all this, and we have to earn rest. But it's not something that needs to be earned. It is our right to rest.
Mm. Yes.
Damn. That's good. That
Damn.
was good. Val came. She didn't come to play. She
No.
came to hit us today. I could see Melanie's eyes just glowing already as you're talking about this because self-care is like Melanie's love.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's so important. It really is everything. And it's such the foundation. Like if we're
Yeah.
not, I know it's like people say this a lot, but you really can't pour from an empty cup. Like you have to fill yourself up first before you can even give to anything else.
Yeah.
It's so important. Yeah.
Well, I was kind of forced into self-care because of a nervous breakdown, but one of the reasons
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about talking about it is you
Hmm.
shouldn't have to hit the bottom of the barrel and face death to
Yes.
like have to look after yourself. And that's why we
Absolutely.
like Angela and I try to have these open conversations because like, yeah, like if you're feeling burnt out, you probably are. You probably need some
Yeah.
don't wait till you're in hospital type thing, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to get to that point.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah,
Well, we
it's
love
so
to.
important.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump to some questions that I think the most important
Absolutely.
ones we love to ask our guests, some random ones just to get to know you a bit more. So I'm going to
Okay.
open with what is the strangest thing you own?
Oh gosh.
It can
I don't
just be
know if it's the
something you love.
strangest thing I own, but I definitely have a lot of interesting like crystals in my house. I should have brought them up here for this, but so maybe if someone wasn't into that, they'd be like, damn, that girl's got a lot of interesting looking crystals going on. Because I have like the ones that most people see that are like, polished and stuff, but then I have some that are more raw looking. and I really love them, but maybe, I don't know, I guess that could be considered strange, but I don't know. I also have a shit ton of tarot and oracle decks
Yeah.
in my house where, again, an outsider might be like, that's a little strange, but to me, it feels very normal. Yeah.
I love that. Do you have a favorite type of crystal?
Oh, I love selenite a lot. It is a good energy clearing crystal. It has like reset properties. Very good to kind of like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, hold the crystal, take some deep breaths, and just reset your energy. I love it. It's a good vibe.
Okay, I'll need to
Yeah.
get some of those myself. I think I'll need to
Yeah,
stock up
yeah, you would love it.
on some crystals.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
a bit obsessed with crystals. Like I definitely didn't grow up with the crystal knowledge, but like I definitely
Mhm.
gravitate to certain ones. And at some point I was
Really?
just like, yeah, like when I was really unwell, I saw this crystal necklace. And I was like, I have to have it. And it was tourmaline.
Ooh.
And the lady was
Ooh,
like,
that's
oh,
a
it's
great one.
yeah, she's like, it's very grounding. And I had no clue. I
Yes.
was like, I don't know. I just feel upside down. And yeah, I went with it. I was like, okay, I don't know if the
Yeah.
magic crystal is magic, but it feels grounding.
Yeah. No, that's one of my favorites too. It really is so grounding. And I even love the way that one looks. I think it's so
Mm,
pretty. I have
Yes,
a
I'm here
crystal on
for
my
it.
neck right now. I got clear
yes,
quartz.
I
Yeah.
saw it. I want to see your
Ooh, love
crystal
it.
collection later because
I
yeah,
know.
I'm
I
obsessed
should
with
have
raw
brought them.
crystals as well. It's so pretty.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
so pretty. I love them.
Mm.
They're
I
really
love it.
great.
I'm here for it. Yes, I'm here for all of the like crystal. Like there truly is something so like
Yeah.
just cool and beautiful
Yeah.
about them. Like just aesthetically, even if you don't even know like the grounding and all of the like different
Yes.
things that they put
Mm.
off. So I'm here for it. Yes, I think we all need to know, like, get a glimpse inside your crystal collection
Yeah.
and get the goods. I think we need the inside
Yeah.
goods. So
Oh
that we
my
mentioned,
gosh.
Val, that you have books. You've got
Mhm.
plenty of books. Like, did you know you always wanted to be a writer?
Mm.
I definitely did always want to write. I wasn't sure if it would manifest in the way of books when I was younger. I was more into songwriting. That was kind of my passion when I was really young. I loved to sing and songwrite like throughout high school and college. I even wrote some music for like indie bands and things like that. And it was really fun. And I was really into script writing. So it was interesting. It was like, I saw myself songwriting, script writing, and I saw journalism. And
Mm.
I even kind of saw a nonfiction book because I felt like that made sense with me wanting to do journalism. But I never, it was interesting. I almost felt like I didn't have the chops to write fiction until one day I just woke up and I was like, you know, what the hell? Like, why not? Let's give it a try. I can practice. I can start one way and keep working on it and to get to, the place where it's good enough to be published or whatever. But I think it was just like one day it clicked where I was like, you know what? Why not? I can do this. Let me try it. And then I ended up loving writing fiction too. But it was funny. I didn't see that as a path when I was younger. I saw the
Mm.
songwriting, the script writing, the nonfiction, the journalism. The fiction was like in the back because I think I just didn't think I could do it. But
Mm.
then I was like, I'm going to try it. Let's see what happens. Let's do this, as most people do when they do fiction. It's almost like that decision of, I can do this. I'm going to try for this,
Yeah.
getting that faith in yourself.
That's it
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
And I think that open-mindedness and that flexibility is like very defining in creative careers because it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think creative people tend to really be drawn to like those kinds of fields. And like, yeah, it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
what doors open, what things you kind
Hmm.
of naturally resonate with. It's like, yeah, who knows where it can lead you.
Yeah. And I think what's so interesting too is a lot of people, I think they feel intimidated by writing a book. And it's really one of those things. I'm sure there's people out there that maybe are just so naturally good at it, sure. But at the end of the day, anyone can write a book. It just takes practice and it takes that confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the hurdle most people have to get through is, hey, I can do this. I can try this. And it might take a minute, because writing a book isn't easy, but it's definitely attainable to anyone. At least I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Honestly,
Yeah.
like just saying that it takes practice because truly
Yes.
you could just write something. You could just write a book,
Mhm.
but getting it to that next level and leveling yourself up, like that takes work and practice. And I feel like
absolutely,
like every time I write something new, like I'm practicing it all over again. I'm learning it all over
yes,
again. And yeah, it's so hard. But also
yeah,
you have to have like the just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway.
yeah. It takes a lot of persistence.
It
Yes.
Yeah,
does.
it
Damn it, it
definitely
really
does.
does.
Yeah. And
That's
thick skin. You know what I mean? Yeah, it
Yes.
takes persistence and thick skin, but anyone can do it. It's like now
Mhm.
I'm like
Yeah.
not selling it, but
No.
no, I do think anyone definitely can. It's like it's one of those things I feel like a lot of people feel really intimidated to try it. And I'm always like, you can do it. Just it takes practice, it takes persistence, but you got this, you know?
Hell yes. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah.
What was your journey to publication like? Like how did we get from,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm gonna try it to here I am now?
You know, I had a really abnormal publishing journey. So I feel like the typical thing you do is you write a book, you query it, and then you get an agent, and then you get published. So for me, it was a little different. I wrote my first book, Hollywood Witch Hunter, I wrote during NaNoWriMo years ago. That book is Buffy meets the Mortal Instruments. It was written in like 2013, guys. Okay, it
Fun.
is old. It has those
You're like,
old
don't come
school.
for me. Don't come for
Yeah, I
me.
mean, my God, it has those old school vibes. You know, it's so outdated, I'm sure at this point. I haven't even looked at it in years. Please don't look at it. No. But I love that book because it was the first book I ever wrote. But what I did is I wrote it during NaNoWriMo and then I edited it. And then I started pitching, but you know, I'm just going to be real. It was really tough at that time. I had a Latina main character and it was hard to get people to look at it. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take matters into my own hands because I want this book to get published. I think it's important. Even it's just a fun book, but we got like a Latina superhero. This is important. I want this out there. So I pitched publishing houses that were open to unsolicited submissions at the time. And one of them was Bloomsbury Spark. And so I pitched it directly from me, not from an agent. And I think it took a few months, but I ended up getting the offer from the editor. So I didn't have an agent when I got published. But after my book deal got announced, I ended up reaching out to some agents and was just like, I have a book coming out. I plan to write more. This was my like audacity coming out here. And I
Hell
was just like,
yes.
I'm looking for an agent because I had trouble finding one with this. I had a Latina main character, but I know there's got to be someone out there that is into that, you know? And so I ended up finding an agent and then I had it after. So it was like the book published and then I got an agent. So it was
I
kind of
love
like
it.
a weird
Yeah.
timing and then
Yes.
it went from there. Yeah. So it was kind of unusual because most people do it the opposite way. But I think because of the time that I was publishing it and it was a diverse book, and it was pretty unusual at that time to have a Latina main character written by a Latina author with a Latina on the cover. It was like it was unheard of. It actually even made like LA Times. I should find it as like a headline or something where like Latina on the cover of, I mean, because that's like how different it
Wow.
was. Because this was like 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
So
That
yeah, so it
is
was kind of
wild.
a different journey for sure.
And
Mm.
I honestly I love that because not that it was the only Latina book, but I
Yeah,
love that. We hate that. We hate that.
I
But
know, right?
I love that you were like, fuck it. I'm just gonna find
Mhm.
a new path.
Yeah.
And I feel like for like we see this so much now in indie publishing where in a
Hmm.
lot of like trad publishing in the world of trad publishing and we've even seen this in like the more recent like percentages that have come out of like
Hmm.
you know the amount of Hispanic or Latino books books by
Hmm.
Black authors, like the percentages are still so low. It's
Oh,
wild.
so low.
But what I love
Yeah.
about like finding these other routes is like
Yeah.
you're still able to get the book out there. Granted, it's not, I mean, luckily for you, you were successful, but it's still really hard, even if you
Oh,
have those other
yes.
routes, no matter what, it's always hard. But I love that we
Hmm.
have these new options to explore because trad publishing still
Mhm.
doesn't always want us in there, which is
No.
wild. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
it sucks. But I love that in was it 2013? Is that
Yeah, 2013. Well, so it
You
got
were-
picked up in 2014, published in 2015. So almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah, you were it. You were the only one.
Ah.
And I like it's wild, but you did it. And I think that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, looking back, I'm always like, I can't believe how wild that was to try and get a book like that published. It was really a wild journey. And right when that came out, it was kind of the beginning of We Need Diverse Books. So that was really cool because we were able to, a lot of the diverse authors were able to kind of come together and be like, oh, I'm writing this. What are you writing? You know what I mean? So that was kind of fun because that was the birth of them as well. I think 2015 was when they got started. So that was really nice. Yeah.
And then so you found your agent and then started publishing from there on. Is that what happened or?
Yeah. And again, just for like transparency, it's been difficult publishing fiction because all my characters are going to be diverse. It's like not something I'm willing to not write about with my fiction. I always have a Latina main character. That's my heritage on my dad's side is Mexican. On my mom's side, it's Moroccan, Spanish Moroccan. So I'm gonna tie it in, you know, somehow in my books. It's just really important to me. And so I got an agent and I went on sub for years with multiple books and the agent did a great job, but a handful of them died on sub. And it still looking back, I'm like, damn it, you know what I mean? Because some of those projects I loved so much, but I've always felt like this is the path I've chosen. It's unfortunate, but this is the path I've chosen with fiction. I'm not willing to bend. So I know sometimes it's a bit harder, you know, and I have had another fiction published since Hollywood Witch Hunter, good on paper. So that was great. And I still will always write fiction and continue to try in that area. The nonfiction has been so great to be doing with that because I get to share things about astrology and all of that. And that's been really great too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I honestly like I love hearing your journey and how it's worked out for you. Do you feel like nonfiction versus fiction? Like do you feel a difference in just like your, I don't know, success or career?
I have had better success in the nonfiction arena, and I have found that I don't feel as though I'm like, what? How should I say this? I don't feel as though people are as intimidated by like my last name and things like that in the nonfiction world as much as the fiction world, because I think that sometimes people feel as though, oh, if that character is Latina, maybe I won't relate to the story, where really you will, you know, just read the book, you'll love it, you know what I mean? But I think with nonfiction, I'm talking about astrology and wellness and things like that. And so no one's thinking about that, you know, so much. It's like, oh, I want to learn about astrology. So that has been cool to see. Definitely, you know, bittersweet sometimes, but definitely I've been happy to see that I can have the area of nonfiction do well, you know, that's been great.
I feel like it's such a cop-out when people say something like that, like I can't see myself in that character from a different culture. I'm like, so you want to just like see yourself the same way again and again and again? Well, you're probably like fairly one-dimensional as a person.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not my kind of people. So just keep writing all those books. And you know what? None of it's ever wasted. You never know how many times I've heard a story where something from years and years ago and it gets repitched and suddenly, hey ho, there it goes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you never know, you know, if an old story. My agent is, I have a middle grade that kind of has like Zorro vibes. And it's like witchy Zorro.
Yes.
And we subbed it, gosh, years ago. I mean, maybe 2018. I don't know. It was a few years back. But my agent now, she's always like, I swear we have to someday sub that again. I believe it can get picked up. So yeah, you just never know if something can later get picked up. Yeah.
100%.
Fingers are crossed for that one, because I think the world needs it. Okay, well, let's talk about Cosmic Care, because I'm so stinking excited about this book. I have not to brag, Melanie, but I have a signed copy.
I saw you two meeting up ahead of time, making friends. It's okay. It's okay. I'll come back.
I didn't want to
You're
make
in
you jealous,
Australia.
Melanie.
I
Yeah.
mean,
We try
if
to
you only
invite you,
lived
Melanie,
here.
but it's a little hard. It's a little hard.
I'm
But can
kidding.
you
I
tell us
know.
a little bit about it, Valerie?
Yeah. Cosmic Care. So basically, Cosmic Care is about the magic of astrology for self-care and empowerment. So in the book, I go through all 12 of the astrology signs and seasons. So I take readers like a year around the sun. So what that means is we start with Aries, which that season starts tonight. So that's kind of cool. So it's a cool time to start the book. And I talk a little bit about Aries, what that means, but then also it's applicable to everyone because then we look at Aries season that we are about to be currently in, and there are rituals for it. There's a well-being theme. There's like card spreads, affirmations, all the self-care things that people can do during Aries season if they want to kind of connect to it. And so we go through every season of the year, and then I also go through the monthly cycle of the moon. And there are rituals for that as well, like the new moon, the full moon, for people to connect to for their self-care and everything. And then probably one of my favorite sections of the book is the birth chart section, because people always ask me about birth charts. It's so complex, and it's really great because it's like a birth chart 101, really, where you can learn the basics of your chart, what it all means. And it was so fun to write that part because it's just the thing I get asked about so much. So I really enjoyed going through that too. And so, yeah, it's full of all these self-care things, all the rituals, all the meditations. And what's really cool too is in the paperback, there's a little code in the back, and you can listen to the audiobook for free on the publisher's app. And all the meditations and rituals and affirmations and all these things, they have like music behind them. So you can listen to that, while you're walking or whatever, if you want to just listen to the rituals and stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm all here for meditations, and what a generous thing to make it just available to people, because it's something I think about a lot, like how expensive it is to look after your mental health.
Oh my gosh, I
and I
know,
just-
right?
I know. Sometimes when I'm in
sure.
therapy, I'm just like, I just think about the people who can't like afford the therapy. But yes,
I know.
grateful for these resources that people put out that are like available for people to access.
Yeah, I know. I think about that all the time too. And I'm really passionate about mental health and well-being and things like that. So I always wanted a project like this where I could be able to share those sort of things with other people, and they could just, have the resources. And using astrology is kind of like a tool for that is really a fun way of combining the two. Because I think when people think of astrology, they just think of like horoscopes and their sign and memes, but there's so much more to it. And it's just really great for self-care. It really is. And I think that most people don't realize that because they only know the one side of it. But connecting to like the seasons of the year and doing those self-care practices, it's really, really, for me at least, it has just been so grounding. I've really, really loved it.
I love this because Melanie, not to call Melanie out,
you can call me out.
but she, not that she was having a hard time with astrology, but she doesn't necessarily know so much about it, except for probably the horoscopes. And so it made me so excited to have you on. Not that I know anything either, but it was really fun having you on because, just for both of us to understand it better and to understand like how grounding it is. And, it's more than just, I'm a Scorpio, there's things.
Absolutely. And our ancestors have been living in tune with the seasons and the moon and all of these things for like thousands of years. It's literally in our DNA to feel drawn to this sort of stuff, like there's a reason why we look at the moon and we feel some feels, or like spring rolls around and we kind of have like a spring in our step, no pun intended, or in the winter we want to like rest. We're naturally in tune to these cycles, and that's what astrology really is it's just the cycles of the year. But I think most people probably don't know that about astrology.
Definitely. And it's really interesting to me, for sure. Thank you for calling me out. But it's so true, because I've like grown up completely different. My background was like very conservative Christian. So like all this stuff was kind of very new, and in fact in my childhood like quite frightening as a kid, But it's interesting, like a lot of that stuff I have like naturally been drawn to, like earthing myself, you know, like just being in nature, random crystals. Like there is something there, and I'm interested
I
to hear
know.
more.
No surprise, because you're a Pisces. I'm not surprised at all that you're drawn to those sort of things.
Oh my
The
gosh, I was swimming in the sea yesterday and I was like, I literally had to take my goggles and swim around, and I was like, okay, she's
She's
a
a
Pisces.
Pisces.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Do you have
Yeah.
a pretty strong intuition?
I like super strong. Like a
Yeah.
psychologist told me once that somebody that's like as much of an empath as me, they use them to like pick criminals out of a lineup because you can
Ooh.
sense that people are like bad
Mhm.
energy.
Yeah, I was gonna say in your birth chart, that's what I
Oh,
noticed is I was like, ooh, this
really?
girl has strong empathy. She probably can read people really well. She probably has these really strong gut feelings and things like that. I noticed that in there was what I thought.
It's very strong. It's
Yeah.
she's in therapy for some of that. We have to shut it down
Yeah.
sometimes. I
Yeah. Oh
can't
yeah,
feel
no,
all the
absolutely.
emotions of everybody, but like young, untherapized me
Definitely.
tried. She tried.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that's definitely you got the
Mm.
intuition going on.
Ooh.
See, Melanie?
You
It
better
feels
watch out,
right.
Toya. I'll know
She's
you.
she knows. She knows. Well, it's one of our questions that we had on there was like,
Mhm.
Melanie's a Pisces, Angela's a Scorpio. Would you say we're a
Mhm.
good pairing?
Oh, absolutely, because you guys are both water signs. So Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, they're all the water element. So usually when you are, friends with someone in your same element, you usually get along really well.
I didn't
And
know
then
that.
also based on your charts, which I'll definitely get into whenever you want me to, you guys also have, so like Melanie has the Pisces sun and she has a Libra moon. And then you, Angela, you have a Scorpio sun, Aquarius moon. So you guys both have water sun signs, but air moon signs. So that's also compatible.
That's why
Yeah.
I
Isn't
feel
that
like we're cut from the same cloth because we are.
Yeah. And then also Angela's got this Aquarius moon, and then you, Melanie, your Venus sign. So like the sign of like love and connection and things like that. Um, yours is an Aquarius. So her having her moon there and you having your Venus there is also another connecting point. So it's
It's
kind of
a true
interesting. You
love.
guys have two of those going on. Yeah.
it feels right.
It
It
does feel
feels
Yeah.
right.
right. I love
So
this.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Melanie? How are you
I
feeling
think
over
it
there?
it tracks. It
Yeah.
tracks because like I was like at a point I was just like energy doesn't lie. And again, like I don't have the
Yeah.
terminology or words from this side of things, but I just know that I was drawn to Angela's energy as like how she operates as a person, and yeah, it
Mhm.
tracks. It tracks.
That's so interesting. And I know astrology, it can be so confusing because it's so vast, but you saying that you were drawn to her energy is interesting to me because, again, your Venus sign, the sign of love and like attraction and things like that, that is her moon sign. So you're usually drawn to people with Aquarius energy,
Ooh.
is what it would show in your chart. And so that's interesting that she has that. And then you guys also have the water sun sign in common. So there's a lot going on with the
Yeah.
energies matching.
We are meant to
Yeah.
be. We are meant to
I
be.
know.
And obviously so were you, Valerie, because you're vibing too. We're feeling the vibes over here.
Well, I'm a Scorpio, so we're all water signs. So it's great.
See?
Mm,
It
it
feels
feels
right.
right.
It does.
I know.
I
So
love
do you
this.
guys want me to talk about your birth charts at all? And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Heck
tell
yeah.
me,
I'm
okay,
seeing I'm
because
seeing we
I'm
have
very
five
excited to do
minutes.
this.
We have 5 minutes
Okay.
left on this recording, but I don't know, Melanie, if you want to like
Yeah, up
if
to
we
you
want to like
guys.
stop and like try and re-record and then we'll
Sounds
Okay.
good
finish
to
up.
me.
Is that okay
Okay,
with you,
perfect.
Valerie, if she sends you a new link in a sec?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Because
it'll probably
I want to
out.
hear. I want to hear
Yeah.
these readings so bad. I want to know
Okay,
all
okay.
about
Yes, I'll
Melanie.
send a new link.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
See you
perfect.
guys soon.
I'm
Okay.
so ashamed of
Sorry.
myself. I accidentally sent the new link to Vera Valentine, our guest from last week.
Oh no.
Because it came up under
Whoopsies.
V and I was just rushing and I just sent it and I was like, hang on, why isn't
Oh
Val
my
showing up?
gosh,
And
how
I went back and
funny.
checked and it was like, it's like my nightmare to send it to the wrong person.
The wrong link. Oh my
Those
gosh.
V names, they're just trouble, just
I
troublemakers.
know, it's
Well,
true.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're
Thank you
back.
for your patience, Valerie. Thank
Yes.
you. We appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm honestly so excited to talk about your guys' charts. This is
Yeah.
like,
Yay.
it's so exciting to me. Okay, so do you want me to dive into that?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay. So I'm going to
Yes.
start with Melanie's chart, and I wanted to explain. So with Melanie, we don't have her birth time. So because of such,
Mm.
if you don't have someone's birth time for a birth chart, you do what we call a sunrise chart. And so what that is we look up what time the sun was rising that day she was born in that city, and then we use that as her birth time. So what that gives us is a chart where we can see her sun, her moon, and some of those things, but we will not have the accuracy of like her houses and rising like we will when I explain Angela's charts. So I just wanted to explain a little bit of that. So you're not like, wait, what house is my sun in? It's like, well, it says, but it might not be accurate. And I would say, Melanie, if you ever do come across your birth time and you want to send it to me, if you're like, I do want to know what that accurate information about my rising sign and what houses everything is in, just email it to me anytime and I got you, I'll hook you up. Okay, so in your chart, Melanie, obviously Pisces is your sun sign, which we know. And your moon sign is Libra, which is really cool because a combination of those two definitely gives someone who is really intuitive, who's really good with people, who's really great at connecting with others. And Pisces gives you like a big imagination and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised at all that you're someone who has wanted to write and everything. And also not surprising that you like enjoy interviewing people because you have that air sign as your moon. And so it's like a great combination. And then I know I mentioned already that your Venus sign is in Aquarius. So that's another air placement. And the really cool thing about that placement is it definitely gives someone who really feels like community is important. And I kind of get that vibe for you that you're building a writing community and you care about the people that you are talking to like genuinely, and that's going on in your chart as well, which I really love. Your Mars sign, so Mars in astrology is like how we take action, and your Mars sign is in Taurus, which I really love for you because you said that self-care is important to you and feeling grounded is important to you, and kind of like I think you mentioned that you enjoy getting out in nature and stuff like that and like connecting to the earth. That definitely shows that that's really important to you, like having that groundedness even with your work, how you take action. All of that is like big time important for you to make sure, I mean for everybody, but definitely for someone like you to make sure you're making time for those self-care things and grounding and getting outside. Like great for you. You also have, okay, so this year the eclipses are in the signs of Libra and Aries, and you have your Libra moon and then you have your North Node in Aries. So that would show that this year is kind of a transformative year for you. Yeah, like a year of like, yeah,
It
a
already
year of
is.
like change. You might already see like some new things happening in your career, in your personal life, all these sort of things that's like hinting at that. And even how you take care of yourself, you'll probably see transformation in that as well. And it sounds like you've been on a journey of self-care for a while.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. And so more of that theme of just reminding yourself of the importance of that is definitely a big theme for you this year. And I don't know, are you in a relationship? Are you?
Yes, I've been married for like 15 years.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, because there's like good vibes in the area of like love and things like that in your chart too this year, which is cool. And also in how you create, like your creativity and stuff like that. You could be feeling a lot of inspiration this year is what it shows. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
really
looking
love that for
forward to
you.
that part.
Yeah.
I love
Are
that
you?
part.
Yeah. And then big imagination. Like your chart shows someone with just like a lot of creativity, lots of imagination, and tapping into that, like just allowing yourself to really tap into your creativity and your imagination and just letting it run wild could be really great for your writing and stuff. I really like that.
Angela's smiling at me like a good mama. She's like, it
It's
all tracks.
it does 100%.
It really
It's
does.
everything is Melanie. It's wild.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's interesting. I know that's why I'm like, I wish I had your birth time too,
Yes.
but I love just getting this information too. And yeah, a lot of empathy. I'm not surprised you have you're an empath and you have really strong intuition because that's
Mm.
definitely there. Yeah, something you have to guard, like
Oh my
learn to
gosh,
protect
yeah.
your peace. Yeah, protect your energy, do those things for your self-care, let yourself tap out when you're
Yeah.
feeling overwhelmed by someone, or you're someone who probably attracts energy vampires and things like
Oh
that.
Lord. Oh Lord, I was
Yeah.
still in the process of dealing with yeah, it's
Oh,
100%.
amazing.
I'm literally that like I had never even heard the word empath until I started therapy. And then
Yeah.
my therapist got me to do some tests and she was like, "Oh, you're like you're highly sensitive empath."
Yeah. Yeah.
And like literally I'll walk into a room and I can just read faces. Like I can just tell
Yeah.
this person is in the depths of despair. And when I was
Yeah.
younger and untherapized, I would just pour myself into trying to help them feel better. But yes, you do
Yeah.
attract a lot of people who start to rely on that as like you are
Oh yeah.
constantly pouring yourself, you're constantly the helper. And then
Mm.
it's giving burnout. It's giving burnout.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
we're
big
not there
time.
anymore. We're self-care, we're boundaries,
Yeah.
we're guarding our empath for the people who give back, because there's people who
Yeah,
cherish
yeah.
that and they
Hmm.
nurture it and they don't just suck it dry. They're like, oh, we're gonna
Yeah,
look after her. And yeah, those are the people, the good energy people I go to now.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want more of those kinds of people in your life for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the learning to protect that energy of yours and that valuing your
Mm.
peace. All of that is so important. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you have any questions about your chart?
I'm so interested about kind of like the
Mhm.
practice behind it. Like where does the inspiration and like the kind of
Mhm.
history of it come from?
Yeah, well, gosh, astrology's been around for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, like thousands and thousands of years, and it is
Mm.
correlation, not causation. It's observation. People for years recording, like, hey, when the sun is
Yeah.
in the constellation of Taurus, I notice these themes. You know what I mean? And then so that's been recorded for so long that
Yeah.
you're able to put these connections together. And all the signs too have like archetypes that go along with it. And so that's actually archetypes in psychology are from astrology. Most people don't know that,
Really?
but yeah, they actually
That
are.
tracks.
And I know because when I was studying, because I have a degree in psychology, I remember when I was learning about that, I was like, oh
Mm.
my gosh, like the connection. People have no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but there's archetypes for each sign. And so when you learn all of those, you're able to look at the chart, put it all together, and yeah, so it all just kind of falls into place. But
Yeah.
yeah, you have a beautiful chart. I really like it.
Aw.
I love the Pisces and Libra combination.
Aw.
And yeah, I
Thank
love though that
you.
you are on this journey of taking care of yourself and protecting that energy. I think that's really, really great. I love that for you.
Thank
You're in
you.
your inner peace
Yeah.
era?
She's trying. She's trying. She's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
I don't know if the chart said anything about my fiery side, but it's there too.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
definitely have
no.
the spicy side where I like have to like calm my inner goddess. But
Yeah.
it's all very lovely to hear. And yeah, it's fascinating to hear more about it because it's really, yeah, not something that I know much about. I mean, I grew up with like the horoscopes in like Dolly magazine, that's kind of
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
extent of my knowledge. So it's cool to hear more about it. So I appreciate you
Yeah,
coming on
yeah.
and sharing.
Oh my gosh, of
Yeah.
course.
It's so cool because it's so spot on for Melanie too, because she's so creative too and such an
I
empath. So yeah,
know.
that's really fun.
Such
And community,
creativity.
yeah, and community's so big. And so yeah, everything. I was like, yep, that's her.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I know when we met, Angela, I went over your chart a little bit, but what's great about your chart is since I do have your birth time, I got all the accurate info. So I'm able to like see what houses the sun is in. So in astrology, I know when people hear houses, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? So there's like 12 houses in astrology in the chart, and each each of the placements fall in a house. And what's really cool when you know the houses is it just, and I actually talk about this in Cosmic Care, but it unlocks a whole another area of astrology when you can see it gives like a cosmic theme to your placements. So for example, Angela, your sun sign Scorpio is in the third house. And what I loved when I saw this, because it was just so great. That usually shows when someone has their sun in the third, it shows someone that could be a writer, which obviously that's what you do, but also just really great at communicating, like a podcaster or journalist or any of those things, just expressing yourself, and that you actually feel alive when you do those things. When you are communicating, when you are writing, when you are doing that, you like it feeds your soul. And so I loved when that was when I saw that, because I was like, that's perfect. And you have a whole stellium of Scorpio in that third house. So that means that energy is strong, like that desire to like write and communicate, and the way that it, gives you that vitality. It's very, very strong with you. And so I love that you found writing. It's so perfect. And then on top of it, to even put more energy there, your rising sign is Virgo. And Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and your Mercury's in that writing house that I'm talking about. So that energy is just so strong with you to communicate, to write. And then you having that Virgo, it gives you this like practical way of approaching things, the diligence, the hardworking nature, the persistence. You're just going to keep trying. You're just going to keep going. And I feel like you're like that.
Yeah,
I really,
that's
really
it.
love that.
That's
I'm
real.
like, I definitely
That's real.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you just have a lot of energy for someone that would write or do what you're, even like podcasting or interviewing people or just communicating really is an important part of you. And I just loved when I saw that. And then your moon is in Aquarius, as we mentioned earlier, and it is in the sixth house, which is the house that Virgo rules. So it gives that same hardworking, practical, grounded energy. But what's great about having it in Aquarius is it also has an outside of the box thinking. And I feel like I see that even with how you approach publishing. You're gonna like do it one way, but then there's also gonna be a part of you that's doing your own thing. You're gonna be a little outside the box. You're gonna color outside the lines. And I really, really love that. And you also have something in your chart that shows kind of like, I saw this in Melanie's chart, but it's a little different in yours, just that importance too for self-care, for watching how, because you have such a hardworking chart. Like you're someone that could work, and then probably get to that point of, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I've been working so much. So I would say if I looked at this and didn't know you, I'd be like, okay, I would tell this person, make sure, keep that hard work. We know you're good at this. We know you're going to work hard. We know you're going to like stay persistent, but make sure you are taking that time to slow down, to ground yourself so you don't get burned out. Because you're someone with how hard you do work, you could get burned out, So I would say to always keep an eye on that, being like, okay, I've written for this many days in a row. I need to take a day off, because you're definitely someone that could just work if you let yourself. You got that hard working
100,000,000,000%. That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
It on the head. And you are
I know.
practical. I love that. Because you are. It's something I cherish about you. Because like my brain goes off with the fairies. And I'll often be like, what do you think about this? It should just have this like chill, grounded answer.
Yeah, practical. Yeah. I love that. Definitely. What's really cool too is you have a lot of ambition. You have your, like, having Scorpios. Scorpios are really ambitious in general, but then you have your Mars sign, that sign of action in Capricorn, which is just like, whoa. That's someone that can just, if they have their sights set on a goal, they're going to go for it, And so it's again that keeping in the back of your mind, like, I'm hardworking, I'm ambitious, I'm determined, but I also got to make sure I'm taking care of me,
Yes.
I don't work myself to the ground. But yeah, I just love all the writing. I love all the writing, and I love that it's mixed with that practicality and that groundedness, because I feel like that feels so accurate to you. And then I like that Aquarius moon sprinkled in there, because it's like, but I'm still kind of gonna be outside the box, and I'm gonna push things a little bit and do things my own way, little rebellion, which I love.
It's wild how like accurate, and it almost feels very validating in a lot of ways of like,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know what?
definitely.
I was meant to be this way and it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's very affirming for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely see, I mean, you also being like a Latina author, you putting brown people on your cover, you're okay pushing those things and you stick to your convictions and I see that in your chart as well. And I think that is just a beautiful trait of yours for
That's
sure.
that's it. That's beautiful. Honestly, that
Yeah.
like that's it right there. I think that's the heart of it, and the
Yeah.
why I am so motivated to continue on
Yeah.
in this business. And so it's
Hmm.
really fun to hear um
Hmm.
like it's so fascinating
I
how
know.
like how people are so smart to even understand that this is like a thing is just wild to me. And it's yeah, I
I
can
know, right? Yeah, what's interesting too is you with the Scorpio sun with the Aquarius moon is definitely someone that almost, it's not like everything you do has to have a purpose, but you do need to feel like you are doing something for a reason.
yeah.
So it makes sense to me that you're writing and how you express yourself, that you have those goals of I'm going to be representing my culture, I'm going to be representing, diversity, and that you stick to that even when it's hard. And I love that. And I definitely see that in your chart too, that those things are important to you. Like the bigger picture is important to you.
That is wild because
Yeah.
I always say like, what's my why? Like that's why I always stick to
Yeah.
like, what's
Yeah.
my why in writing? So I guess it's
Yeah.
just to my core. I need to know
Oh,
why.
yeah. Yeah. The why is very important for you, for sure.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Of
I love
course.
this.
It's so fascinating and interesting. And I wonder, is there something that, like, for our listeners, like some advice that you have, like, specifically that you maybe hold dear or that you would want to share with, emerging writers or just, I don't know, humanity in general?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I think two things. I think that I know this sounds like so cheesy, but like if you have a desire for something, if that's like writing, you can do it. It might feel like you can't. You might not think you have the skills. You might not feel like you have the confidence, but you can do it. You just have to believe in yourself. No, but really, maybe it takes affirmations you're reciting to yourself every day to remind yourself that you're capable, but you really are capable of it. And it might take some time, it might take some practice, but it can happen if it's a desire of yours, 100%. And then also, I think just really valuing yourself and your well-being. I think that because they almost go together. If you have that desire and you have that goal, go for it. You can do it. You can make it happen. But also don't think that that defines you. What matters, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all that stuff is great. Reaching your goals is great. But at the end of the day, taking care of yourself, having your peace, that is the most important. How you treat other people, all those things are so much more important than those goals we set, but they both can coexist together. You can do both of those things, but don't put your value in that either. You are valuable because you're valuable, simply because you exist. None of these other things matter, and put your well-being first because of that, because you are so valuable.
I
That's
love that.
beautiful. Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. And I think it's something that we all need to constantly be reminded is that we're just us being us is enough and
That is
beautiful.
enough. Yeah. I know people think that like you have to earn rest, you have to earn these things. And it's like, no, you matter, you're important, you're worthy of peace, you're worthy of love, just simply because you exist. That is enough.
Yeah.
Like
But
nothing else matters. That's the foundation. And then if you have these bigger goals or these bigger things, have that foundation so then you can move towards, believe in yourself and have the confidence to move towards those things. Yeah.
yes. And I just love how you said, like, the two can coexist because
Oh,
ultimately
absolutely.
that balance, honestly, that I'm trying to find personally, like, because yeah,
Mhm.
like sometimes it can seem at odds to be trying to be like just in the moment and this zen being and then
Mhm.
have these big dreams and goals. But I think like that's it. Like the happiness is in the small moments, but you're allowed to have these
Exactly.
big things that you shoot for as well. But yeah, I think finding a
100%.
balance between the two is quite a dance.
Yeah. And then just, I think, reminding yourself that at the end of the day, it is just not what defines you. Whether or not you're published, whether or not you're successful, or however you define success, it just doesn't matter. what matters is how you feel about yourself, that do you think you're worthy? Do you think you're worthy of love? Do you have peace? Those are the things that matter. How do you feel about yourself? You know, how do you treat other people? Like the goals, they're great. I mean, I'm such a goal-oriented person, so I'm into it, but I try really hard to not make any of those things define me. Like I love if I have success with a project. Oh my God, it's amazing. But I'm not going to feel bad about myself if I don't, because I'm like, that doesn't define me, you know? This is what these other things are what define me. So I think having that foundation of that self-worth, self-love, self-care is so important, especially if you're going for these goals and these things like publishing and everything, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's what we all needed to hear.
Mm.
And I honestly, I can't wait for our listeners to hear all that you had to say, because it's so valuable, and it just hits deep, because I think it's something we all go through every day, you know, like this battle in our own brains. So yeah, so thank you so much, honestly, for taking the time and just sharing like your
Oh yeah, of
wealth
course.
of knowledge, and just your beautifulness is
Oh,
so
thank you.
powerful.
Oh,
It's
thank you
really
so
been,
much.
no, it's been great just hearing what all the things that you had to say, and it makes me so excited to dig into your book and just learn more from you as I read Cosmic Care. What's next for you, Valerie? I mean, I know Cosmic Care just barely came out, but I know there's some more projects in the work. Is there anything you could share
Yeah.
with us?
Yeah, I have an Audible original coming out in June, called Happiness by the Signs. So I did Self-Care by the Signs and Self-Care by the Moon with Audible. So this is like a third one. This book is about finding happiness and that cultivating happiness in our lives. And we look at the archetypes, the astrological archetypes for inspiration. And so we come up with like 12 pillars. I say we because I mean me and Audible, but I wrote it. I'm like, I feel like am I already promoting this? No, I think that it's like I came up with 12 pillars of happiness based on the astrology signs as inspiration. And so it was really fun to write, and I got to narrate that as well. This was my fourth book narrating too. So that was really fun. So that comes out in June, and then I have a oracle deck coming out, an astrology one in September, and it has a guidebook that goes along with it. It's called Cosmic Magic. And I'm really excited about that. The art is so beautiful. The artist that I got paired with is just amazing, and she did such an incredible job. Her name's Annie Tarasova. She's Dreamy Moons on Instagram.
Okay.
You got to check her out. She's incredible. Yeah, she's really great.
I'm going to look her up right after this, honestly, because I'm excited.
Yeah, she's great. She's really good.
Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like so many more exciting things are coming ahead for you, and I can't wait to just watch the journey and listen and read to all of the things. Truly, like, thank you so much for taking the time and just to be with us, for one, but then going over our charts was so fun. It was nice to see Melanie, you know, just step out of her shell, out of her comfort zone.
Nice to see Melanie work through her religious trauma.
Oh my God.
Live on Zoom.
No, I get it. Well, I thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be able to do this with you guys. And you guys are both so great. You both have such beautiful energy. And I think it's so amazing that you guys have this podcast and that you talk about writing and that you're building community. And I'm just really grateful that I got to be on this with you guys. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Honestly, it was so much fun. And yeah, you're welcome back anytime. And it was
thank
fun.
you.
So thank you for doing that for us. And yeah,
Yeah.
we won't keep you any longer. It wound up, you probably have things to get to. So we'll let you go. But yeah, it was honestly so great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it so much.